Okay. Wow.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, everyone all over the world. Maybe you can type in where you are listening from so Dr. Dana would know. And so we're so happy we have Dr. Danner on. Let's see. Did I pronounce right? Danner or Danner?
Danner.
Danner, sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
And people are telling you where they're from, a few from Singapore and Malaysia. And so we have this call once a month. And we are so honored to have Dr. Danner here to tell us what he thought about Pharmanex and maybe LifePak Nano, maybe whatever you like to share is fine. Yeah, whatever you like to share. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, excellent. And so, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone, and I want to thank.
Would you like to click off so people see you for a little while, and then what do you call? I don't know what you call it.
Stop sharing
Stop sharing for a
Stop,
minute.
stop.
And come back in.
Okay. Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Can you see me now? Okay. Wonderful. Well, again, I want to just first of all say welcome to everybody around the globe. Thank you for joining us this evening. I want to thank Patrick, and I want to thank Marguerite Song for inviting me this evening. It's really an honor to be here. And I'll just introduce myself a little bit. My name is Dr. Omar Danner. I am a surgeon by training, a professor of surgery and critical care, as well as a bariatric surgeon. So I've studied, metabolic health and weight management. I've studied, critical care and trauma surgery. So dealing with, severe injuries, and did that so that I could really understand the human body and, what goes wrong. And so we can learn how to fix it. So, been on this journey. And so my current focus is on health and wellness, restoration, and prevention. And so what we want to do this evening is talk about Pharmanex, talk about Nu Skin, and particularly, one of the products that we're really going to focus in on is LifePak and their multivitamin lines. They've helped a lot of people with these products regain their health or maintain their health. And so I'll talk a little bit about this, but what I want to do is share a little bit from the standpoint of the business of Nu Skin and being an independent, customized or independent entrepreneur. They have very customized products that are, one of a kind, one of a class. So very, very powerful and potent. So I want to talk a little bit about this 21st century business model. And I'm going to share my screen again. Let me see here if I can get back to it. Let's see here. Let me go back to the Zoom, and I'm going to share my screen, but let me see here. Share screen. All right. And can you guys see my screen again?
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
we see it.
We see you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk really fast, but not so fast that nobody doesn't understand me, so that I can get to kind of the core of what Pat and Marguerite want to focus on this evening. But we want to talk about this 21st century health and wellness business model, and the future is here with the efforts of Pharmanex, the efforts of Nu Skin, and the advances in technology, artificial intelligence, but also nutritional and biological intelligence. We have the information to basically really reclaim our health and well-being, and you as business leaders have the chance to really lead this journey as we are really becoming a healthier planet. So I want to talk about this 21st century business model. We can talk a little bit about the digital revolution and the power of residual income, and then establishing this global businesses in over 50 countries, which Nu Skin has already done. And Pat and Marguerite, they want to share this amazing business opportunity. So thank you for joining this conversation. So, you have to figure out what your why is. You have to define it. So the question is, why are you here? It's late at night, it's early in the morning. Different people have different reasons, but you have to find your own. So, some people it may be extra income, some people it may be financial freedom, Some people may want to own their own business. It may be more time freedom. Some people just may want to help other people, but you have to define your why. It may be personal growth. This is an incredible growth opportunity. Pat and Marguerite are great teachers, so a chance to connect with other business leaders and business minds. And it may be for some security, retirement, as the economy is changing, going to need other outlets, other sources of income. It may be to meet new people, some of the nicest people in the world you'll find through this New Skin organization and the independent proprietors and distributors and the leadership. And this, opportunity presented helps us to create assets that actually can be passed on to the next generation. And you may want to do that. You may be thinking about long term as the model is changing with advances in AI. About 600 million jobs are going to be lost in translation. So you have to figure out what are you going to do in the future. And some of us, it may even be personal. So it may be a new and healthy lifestyle. These products definitely help support a new and healthy kind of life and lifestyle quality of life. So what we're going to do is talk about a little bit of a paradigm shift. And in this new shift, it's really shifted. And with the new advances in technology, the virtual assets, there's input output technology devices like this new Prism IO that's coming down the pipe. But this married with the premium products offered by New Skin and PharmaNex really is going to revolutionize this world of health and wellness and personal care with other advancements in things like machine learning and artificial intelligence combined with these advances in technology. And in the future, we're moving to the world of DNA and the merit of that to big data and big data farms called digital twinning. That's something else that you'll see into the future. But this is going to lead to a significant financial revolution, and the people who are participating in it is going to result in significant financial rewards. So this is a multi-billion-dollar partnership opportunity that Pat and Marguerite are presenting to you today. So just here as a, just speaker, just give a little information to support them in this journey. And so the thing is, there's significant productivity gains derived, from this digital revolution, but this is the coming together of a market of 8 billion people. Everybody wanting to be healthy, and marrying that with the virtual assets in the cloud, AI and IO technology, then married to basically the premium nutrition products at New Skin will create significant economic growth. And this is really about leveraging your income to basically be healthy, and also leveraging the income of others to achieve wellness, and then making money for themselves and achieving a new healthy lifestyle in the process. And so we'll talk about that and how does this actually all work together. But there has to be an urgency to build your business now, particularly in these new markets where they may not have the established infrastructure and these things are not so readily available, but through the worldwide distribution systems that's been developed, now these things can be delivered efficiently through people, through talented individuals just like you. So this is a unique 21st century business model and partnership where there's no significant capital outlay or overhead, because New Skin has absorbed that. They've developed the infrastructure, the technology through apps like Stella and Vera. Now you actually they're able to turn your mobile phone into a walking business. Our partner with New Skin is a multidisciplinary team of 75 scientists behind these products like LifePak Nano. They have an advisory board. They're listed on the New York Stock Exchange as a $2.58 billion company. They've been in business over 40 years, and the stock actually pays a dividend of about $1.56 $1.56 a year. So the picture is, again, Dr. Chang, Dr. Bartlett, and some of the scientists, and they're the ones who are behind the origin of PharmaNex. It was founded in 1994 by the pharmaceutical scientists, Dr. Chang and his partner, Dr. Michael Chang. They created a unique research and development engine and use a 6S process to develop these vitamins and products like LifePak Nano, LifePak Anti-Aging, which we'll talk about a little bit as we get deeper into this, to develop these purified pharmaceutical grade or medical grade supplements or nutraceuticals. It's funded by world-class venture capital with over $38 million to get it launched. It was eventually acquired by Nu Skin for $135 million in 1998. So it's been growing for the last 27 years, and it's become a very successful kind of corporation, unicorn, and one of the darlings of international business. One of the key focuses on product innovation. They've used, science. A lot of times we talk about there's no science behind nutrition. Well, Pharmanex did a whole lot to change that, although it was a myth for the most part in the first place. Every product is studied and tested, and before it goes to market, it has to be validated on an outside facility. So we'll talk about a little bit more about the 6S process, but one of the key core foundations of Nu Skin and Pharmanex is this age-lock science. Age-lock is almost like a gene expression science, and now the technology and science has caught up. So now, we used to say that genetics were not modifiable, but Pharmanex, through the acquisition of LifeGen Technologies, Dr. Proland, the lab out of the University of Wisconsin, married to Dr. Chang and Pharmanex, and Dr. Bartlett and Dr. Hester and the other scientists, they've changed the idea that we can actually manipulate genetics through nutraceutical rebalancing through the age-lock product line that actually is a perfect complement to the LifePak, product line, LifePak Nano, LifePak Anti-Aging. So it starts with the process of selection. So Dr. Paul Cox goes around the world and they identify these ethnomedicines, he's ethnobotanist, and identify these traditional medicines. And what they do is they bring it back, they study it, and they figure out what the key ingredient is inside of it. And then they will source it. They bring it back through seed technology. They can grow it locally in Provo, Utah, at some of maybe the other facilities around the world. But they study it and figure out what the best species. And so with the specifications, they choose the best ones that work the best in humans. And then after they figured that out and whether the best time to harvest it, they standardize it. And because it's a biologic product, it goes through safety testing. And after the safety testing is done, then before it goes to the open market or general market, it goes through what's called substantiation or outside validation at a non-affiliated institution partner who does this kind of nutraceutical research to verify the findings at Pharmanex, at Nu Skin, so that basically they're only delivering the highest quality of products to the actual global market. This right here is just a study looking at age-lock, talking about age-lock youth and gene expression science and what happens with genes when you go from young to old. And with these age-lock products, they're now, if you look at this, green is, somebody who's young, but as you get older, these genes get turned off and other genes that were turned off get turned on. So when you get older, the collagenases, for instance, get turned on, the collagen production enzyme, the metalloproteases get turned off as the nutritional balance changes. And this actually leads to loss of collagen, it leads to wrinkles. Through this gene expression science, now they actually know how to restore or return on those metalloproteases and then turn off the collagenation through nutritional restoration. We think that is aging, but it's actually nutritional depletion over time because the food, around the world, even in Western environments, do not have sufficient amounts of nutrition to maintain our bodies over the course of time, particularly into late adulthood. So unless you've been doing that, and some people eat healthy, they've been doing it all their lives, so of course they're more sustained and preserved. But the ones of us who may eat more processed foods or maybe an environment where they can't get the healthiest best selections of food consistently in places where people don't rotate crops, are not preparing, they're not preparing foods from the ground to the table, farm to table is the term that we use, and eating more processed things, more things out of cans, then it tends to deplete our body of nutrition over time, and it leads to this, altered expression. And so, in the past, it was hard to measure and keep track of, are we getting adequate nutrition? How do we know that these vitamins that we're taking are actually absorbed? And so what Pharmanex did, they acquired the retinal scanner, the Raman spectroscopy scanner, the same thing we do for retinal scans, and bought the technology for that and adapted it to something called an S3 biophotonic scanner. And it's demonstrating value at the consumer level because there's no guesswork. Now they've converted it to a smaller device that's coming down the pipe that we call the Prism IO, and that's something that basically is reducing this down to the size of a pill or like a Alexa or something like that. But it measures the skin carotenoid score in 30 seconds. Using the old device, it's going to be 20 seconds. And this is a surrogate marker of your antioxidant level, which correlates with your immune health. And it's the only machine of its kind that measures the skin carotenoid score, which is a surrogate marker for antioxidant levels and nutrition levels. So these are some of the other devices that's kind of coming, like there's, the facial spa, there's a Lumi spa that for massage, there's other devices that New Skin is the #1 company in the world, and handheld personal care beauty devices. And I think the second year running, maybe the 5th year overall. But now we're going to just start talking about more specifically some of the products, but I'm going to skip through this because we want to focus tonight and spotlight LifePak Nano. But these products, the reason I bring it up, they work in conjunction, and so restoring the body's youthfulness using this anti-aging supplement. It was developed, to help, like I say, restore the skin, restore the healthy fullness of the skin by getting rid of the wrinkles through collagen restoration. So it modulates the aging defense mechanism, resulting in systemic youth preservation. And it does this by also getting rid of inflammation. So it's a very powerful anti-inflammatory supplement as well. Here's some studies just showing that from baseline to supplementation, it improves, the activities in the brain in those areas. This is looking at some skin who's like before and after, like, high dose damaging radiation. It showed better preservation for people who are on age lock products. And it also, compared to placebo, it actually increased the level of your antioxidants in the bloodstream by taking it over a placebo alone. The little lower line shows, basically there's no change. I've taken HLOC Youth. It does actually raise the skin carotenoid score, your antioxidant level, which provides you more protection, kind of like the missile defense shield over Poland or over some country. So you think of antioxidant like that. But there are other ones like Age Lock Vitality, which restores your energy, supports 3 dimensions of vitality that typically decline with age, with your physical vigor, your mental acuity, as well as sexual health. And the ingredients, the cordyceps CS, cordyceps sinensis for mushroom, along with the pomegranate extract and the Asian Panax ginseng RB1. Take 3 capsules daily. It really does help, restore your energy level, help you function. And it basically, when you marry these with this feature product that we're talking about tonight, LifePak Nano, which is a foundational nutrition, is some people refer to as a Rolls Royce of nutritional supplements. It has 40 important ingredients, both micro and macronutrients. Micronutrients are energy, nutrients that don't contain, release energy or don't contain energy. Macronutrients are like proteins, carbohydrates, and fat, which contain energy. It also contains trace minerals, citrus bioflavonoids, polyphenols, some amino acids, and phytonutrients. that the body needs these macro and micronutrients, including oleic acid, omega-3 fatty acids, for optimal function. Just like a car needs oil, gas, and transmission fluid, the body needs vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants for optimal function. So, an equivalent to a machine, a car, or a vehicle, SUV, then a multivitamin is like a transmission fluid. If it doesn't have enough transmission fluid or right combination of components in the transmission fluid, then that vehicle can't run and function well. This is what LifePak Nano is. It's the most complete multivitamin, multi-mineral nutraceutical on the planet. So it's like the completion of nutrition where the diet falls off. LifePak Nano, using advanced nanoparticle technology, actually focuses on not only providing a complete botanically based source of nutrition, it actually, has the what we call cyclodextrin, encapsulating and coating the individual micelles of nutrients so they don't clump together. And then they're encapsulated into something called microcrystalline cellulose. So these capsules are easily absorbable or broken down in your stomach by your stomach acids, and they're dissolved. And so that allows the micelles or the contents to be released. And because of these hydrophilic cyclodextrin nanoparticle sugars, now these nutraceutical factors, these micronutrients can be absorbed. So it's not really what you take, it's what your body can absorb and utilize. So they have actually mastered at Nu Skin absorption science and patented this technology to a point where pharmaceutical companies and other companies around the world are coming to them to get access licenses to use this technology. But, these like products, if you look at the LifePak Nano, it has 5 different capsules. These are your vitamins. These 2 larger red looking pills are omega-3 fatty acid, oleic acid. That's another important nutraceutical for anti-inflammatory reasons. So this is where you're looking at and comparing against the Rolls Royce of nutrition, what you compare against. Things that have less than that, sometimes, you may take it separately, like as far as the omega-3 fatty acids, but there's no nutraceutical that has things like boron and vanadium. You have other things, alpha lipoic acid, and other agents that, you may not commonly think of, but they're all important, not only for function, but for DNA repair and for optimization of your immune system. So, there are other things in there like vitamin D that's very important, but this is a complete nutraceutical. You take it twice a day. It's very, it's very good for, just restoring overall health. If you want to practice wellness, you want to get healthy, then you have to maintain your nutrition. Nutrition is the key to wellness. So it's one thing that I want to kind of just brush on is and touch on is actually something called G3 or from the GAC fruit. The GAC fruit with Iberian pineapple is what we call a superfruit. And superfruits are high in certain nutrients, particularly antioxidants. So this is the superfruit of superfruit, and it complements the complete transmission fluid, so the complete nutrition supplementation, but it doesn't have enough antioxidation to really meet the need of the body to neutralize these normal reactions. So this is high in key compounds, lycopene and lipocartines, high in vitamin C and high in antioxidants. So it's recommended to drink, up to 2 ounces daily. Some people drink 1 ounce, some people drink 2 ounces, but it tastes good, it's delicious, it's, has in basically it helps to complement the age-lock youth, age-lock vitality, but it definitely complements the LifePak Nano. So a lot of people order the subscription in combination, LifePak like Nano plus G3, and with the subscription, the G3, because the way it's packaged and discounted by Nu Skin, it tends to be cheaper, but it kind of gives you that combination of nutrition that you need if you want to succeed with, optimizing your health and well-being. And there are other products that have come down the pipe, such as Age Like Meta. Age Like Meta is something we'll talk about another day, but it's new and proprietary, 7 years of exclusive research, 4 published articles. But the benefit of it, if you're a diabetic, you have metabolic syndrome, you have gut issues, it goes beyond to support overall gut health and metabolic health, helps restore the tight junctions, conductivity, and barrier tissue presence. And the active ingredients were extracted from black rice, bilberry, black currants. They're called anthocyanidins, so cyanidin, delphinidin, melvinidin. And then again, these can all be married to these different beauty cleansing devices. The ageLOC Lumi Spa IO is, complement with the ageLOC, the Lumi Spa, and the Renew Spa, which is more of a massage device, and there are others that Pat and them may talk about on a different day. So, but today we want to just kind of stick to just introducing you to all the wonderful products that Nu Skin had, but a real focus on Life Pack. But just like we take care of the inside of the body, they also have wonderful products from the Epoch line and other lines that actually support the skin health. And that was their claim to fame, but making purified like skin products without a bunch of chemicals, without diluting them down to spread them thin. And that's why they're the #1 company in the world, not only beauty devices, but a lot of the self-care beauty products, as well as nutraceuticals. So a bunch of innovations. It was say coming soon, but now they've launched the Lumi Spa, the Body IO, and this helps even with like lymphatic issues of having lymphedema. This device helps get rid of some of those leg veins and leg swelling by helping to milk the lymph back up, and getting some good results around the world. But if it's done in conjunction with Life Pack and ageLOC Youth and the G3, along with a good healthy diet, then your results are even more superb. So, all these things come together. Just want to show you the complete suite of tools. This is how this device is used. And just, take the area and do your massage and follow the guidelines. And, again, it was tested. It's FDA approved. I had to go through the FDA because it's a medical grade device that has been used and really becoming very popular around the world, and different countries, and Asia and over into America. It was actually launched in Asia. This is just some of the data about how to do this. And then not getting into the compensation of this, but this projected brand value in the US is projected to go from $10 billion to up to $25 billion as a corporation. So it's in a growth phase. And when companies are in the growth phase, this is where there's the greatest opportunity for proprietors like you to actually make a lot of money, like Pat and like Marguerite. So we want to be like them because they're standard setters. So we're going to learn from the best. So that being said, just in summary, it's urgent to build your network. Your network will determine your net worth. So you have to take action now, invite others to join you and Pat and Marguerite in this, global wellness initiative. Your health is your wealth. So taking Life Pack will help you to get your life back. And so you have to try out these, premium nutraceutical products and devices. They do work, have measurable benefits. A lot of people can tell their story, but you need to think about our 21st century flexible business model, because this is what's going to help you to restore and get your time freedom back, and also develop a recurrent passive income. Remember, jobs provide linear income, so you're basically trading time for money. This allows you to basically start getting your own time freedom and financial freedom. So our Nu Skin strategic business partner handles all the traditional business tasks and back office for us. And so you actually, with the app in the back office, have a lot less stress than when you're trying to run a business and keep track of these things yourself. So Pat and Marguerite, they're sharing these awesome products and devices with you, and have a 60-40 split. So they take 60% of the dollar and the wholesale dollar, and 40% is divided among distributors. So it's a very generous compensation strategy and plan. And these revenues are spread across the organization's network. So your network up to 6 generations. And so it's a very generous compensation. So not only you get primary commission, but you also, when you become a brand representative or a distributor, in, different levels to lapel up to, elite, you get even greater compensation because they are very fair to their business partners and independent business owners in this, new skin Pharmanex partnership. So this is also to, our common friends, Dave and Terry. We work together, Love How You Age, and, I'm Dr. Omar Danner at danbarforlife.com. And so, Pat, I was going to take them and just, let's see here, let me get out of this. And basically, this is just to kind of just give you an idea of what I've been working on is to create a way to bring all this together. So we make wellness programs, and this right here, one of the things is the ability to get specialized testing, because not only our nutrition, we need to understand our food allergy and sensitivities, what we put in our bodies. So this is a way to be able to get, this is, yes, Pat.
Oh, no, sorry. No, it's really great. It's really great, Dr. Dana. Then, I have to share with everyone, David and Terry Dixon are from Virginia. They are kind of our neighbors on the other side of the river, and they are under John and Giselle Sexsmith. And that's how, well, I think I've known Terry maybe over 20 years, I think, yeah.
Mhm.
And so that they know Dr. Danner, not me. And then so introduced over. Yes, and so this was quite amazing talk. Yeah, so I think we can open up for questions. And I think maybe, yeah, if anybody has a question, can you open your phone? Somebody sending me a message saying they have problem to turning the video on. I really don't know. So can you open your mic and talk and ask questions?
The video is okay now, Marguerite.
Oh, okay. Okay, give Dr. Danner a hard question. He's not afraid of hard question. I remember he told me of the story I hear that when he's at ER, a patient get wheeled in on the what do you call it, gunner or whatever, and they're not in, and then he has to figure out, what do I do with this patient? How do I save him? And I think that's an amazing job you do. Yeah, Dr. Danner.
Thank you.
No question. Okay, somebody got to watch that chat. Let's see if there anybody asking question there. Oh, it's Jaya. Yes. Oh, it's fixed. Okay. No one has questions tonight? You guys are afraid? What? Oh, there's a new one come in. The chat. Oh, just fixed. What? I thought there was a new one. No. Okay.
Marguerite, can I ask him a question? He was going to specifically talk about LifePak Nano and its benefits. He never really got around to it. Can you elaborate on the areas of LifePak Nano that make it, let's say, better than anything else on the market?
No, that's an awesome question. Let's go back to LifePak and let's get back up to it, because that's where we really want to spend most of our time.
Right.
And so the thing is, so what makes LifePak unique versus other vitamins and minerals or products on the market? Well, one of the first things is that what Pharmanex does is they harvest their nutraceuticals, the micronutrients, from botanically based sources. So the model at Nu Skin is they take out the best, they throw away the rest. Second thing is that when you look at the 6S process, so basically there are different species. There may be, like, let's say, vitamin E or vitamin A, for instance. There may be an alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. And so if the epsilon is the species that works the best in humans and give them the best results, and they're going to select the highest quality of that product, the best species of that product. So it is the most well-researched, over 39 pages, and not 39 studies, 39 pages of reference studies to support the development of this one single product. It basically is the most complete nutraceutical, most complete vitamin. So the body needs about 45 to 60 different nutrients in order to be healthy. And so LifePak is the one product that comes the closest to mirroring all the things that the body needs. So when you hear the word essential multivitamin, that term essential actually means partial. It means incomplete. So years and years ago, the pharmaceutical company decided what they deemed the essential or major vitamins and minerals that our body needs. But remember, you need 40 plus vitamins and minerals. Some people argue up to 60 if you break down antioxidants individually. And so that means that the 20 that you're getting in an essential multivitamin is lacking basically 50% plus of the other vitamins and minerals you need. So although a person may be taking a vitamin, an essential vitamin, one a day, Centrum or something like that, the thing is their body is being depleted at the same time. We think we're getting older, we think we're getting tireder. Our body's actually being depleted of nutrients, and that's what LifePak does. It starts to restore that nutrition foundation, and that is the key to health and physiologic optimization. The other side of it is that the other vitamins, a lot of them, you may say USP, US pharmaceuticals. So the US pharmaceutical companies use petroleum-based plants that are generating a lot of synthetic products. So they create something called a mirror image of a naturally occurring product. We call it an L isomer. The body actually uses something called a D isomer, dextro meaning right leaning. So the left leaning products don't have the absorption or the efficacy inside the body. So they may have a 15% efficacy, or they may not even get well absorbed. And so LifePak, because they're natural, they're purified and botanically based, they actually have a better absorption pattern and profile. And then lastly, when you talk about purification, the other ingredients inside of botanically based sources may be bioactive metabolites. So when you put them in and you don't basically remove these impurities, they can actually have negative or unwanted side effects or effects in the body. So basically, LifePak is actually a very purified nutraceutical. It doesn't have, these other like contaminants or other bioactive metabolites or products in there. Other companies do not have the same type of processing equipment because Nutrien and Pharmanex is supported by a publicly traded, very financially stable company. They have pharmaceutical grade processing plants, and therefore they can separate out these nutraceuticals just like they do in the pharmaceutical industry, and they have to adhere to something called the ISO 9000 for safety. Lastly, they actually in Provo have something, I'm not sure if they still have the patent on that, but grow Vive, vertical farming, so they can actually self-contain and can grow their own actual primary ingredient to harvest the nutrients from, so they can control from one end of the process to the other. And lastly, they do outside substantiation. If you go ask yourself the question, which of these vitamins or nutritional supplements that I'm representing has scientific data to support it, and they've asked somebody, hey, Vic, ask them to show you the study supporting it. If you ask people from Pharmanex or New Skin or, in our network, we pull up the data. In God we trust. Everybody else brings data. LifePak comes with data. And the people that I know personally who've taken it, I had a sister-in-law. She actually had a bad problem. She gained weight. She had issues with kidney problems. She was going on dialysis next visit. She had eye problems. She had low thyroid. She had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes with a hemoglobin A1C of 12.1, and basically about to fire herself from her job because she just couldn't work past noon. So once I heard about it and I was telling her that, hey, what are your doctor doing? And she talked about all the great doctors and all the medication they had put her on, and there was not anything you could do. Well, I'm saying, well, have they put you on, the right vitamin? Have they put you on, normalize your vitamin D level? Have they put you on, things like age, like have they changed your diet? Have they talked to you about these things? She's like, well, no, they haven't even talked to me about this. I'm like, well, hey, you got a lot of different things you can do because, guess what I've learned? That there actually are now products available that can address restoring your body. And so, long story short, in 3 to 6 months, she had gotten her blood pressure down, her A1C had normalized, her cholesterol had normalized, she regained, her night vision, her intraocular pressures were 27. It went on to not actually need, to have surgery to lower them. And on top of that, her kidney function actually reversed. Now, instead of being a 4B going to a 5, it was back down to a 3B, and currently it's back down to a 1 or normal. And so her doctor was like, you know what? In all my days, I have never seen something like this before in my life. But basically, because we focused on putting on the right nutrition, took off some of the bad stuff, the medications, the need for the medications went away as her body got healthier. And currently today, she's lost 100 pounds. Her BMI is 23.8. She was placed on the TR90 program as well, along with Age Lock Youth and the G3, because you have to have the foundation. So LifePak is the foundation, and you need to have these other nutritional supplements for total body restoration, but they work in combination. And so there's no such thing as a magic pill, but there is maybe close to a magic pack. LifePak will help you get your life back.
Thanks, Doc. It was a wonderful explanation. It's good to hear it from a doctor's perspective. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
There are more questions now. Now everybody get braver. Let's see. Jaya has some questions. Why don't you ask? She said, oh, she wants to know what are the supplements do you take, Dr. Dana?
Primarily, I take LifePak Nano. I'll take Age Lock Vitality. I take vitamin D, usually high dose vitamin D, and then sometime I'll take G3. That stuff runs out, so you have to keep, try to keep it replenished. And then I'll take things like, turmeric or something like that, things that are anti-inflammatory. But the core products are the core foundational. I take Age Lock Youth. So Age Lock Youth, Age Lock Vitality, LifePak Nano with high dose vitamin D, and then G3 and plus minus turmeric. During the pandemic, I take zinc and things like that. And if there's something targeted or specific going on, like if I'm having a problem with vision, I may take eye formula or something like that, but then I'll do targeted nutrition wellness if I have a specific issue.
Oh, someone asked, if someone is on a blood thinner medication, will LifePak affect the blood clotting duration? I guess that's the question.
That's a great question. And it can affect the clotting. I have had people on things like Eliquis and other things like that. And once they were on LifePak and, these other products, their clotting system regulated. Clotting, factors are created by liver cells and other cells and platelets. So we have platelet dysfunction, liver dysfunction, or immune system dysfunction. Clotting is abnormal. It re-regulates the body back to normal. So, people are being able to come off of the medications and have less of a propensity or tendency to basically form clots, deep venous thrombosis and PE. So, the people who've been in the program who've actually adhered to these nutraceutical regimens that we're presenting through Pharmanex and through this LifePak and Age Lock line, the ones, knock on wood, that I've been taken care of, haven't had any problems with things like unexpected PEs or heart attacks or other type complications. Actually, they're doing pretty well, living a pretty healthy lifestyle. It's only the ones who deviate. Like I tell you the story of Uncle Jimmy, and Uncle Jimmy was doing great. He was 80 some years old, taking LifePak, and he was like, I haven't felt this good in years. But a lot of us have this mindset of reactive medicine and think that, basically when you feel good, you can stop taking your nutraceutical, just like you stop taking your medication. and he stopped taking it. He ended up going somewhere to an event and caught COVID, and basically got into the hospital and ended up succumbing to his, illness. And so when went to kind of clean out his house and, kind of put everything away, basically had his Life Pack Nano on the counter, half the box still full, because his mindset was, I'm feeling great now. I don't need this anymore. And basically, the Life Pack supports the cells of the body, the immune cells, the clotting cells, the fibroblasts that heal, the kidney cells, brain cells. So you need nutrition, and you can re-regulate some of the system, even the clotting system, if you have the right nutrition, and basically also fixing your diet so that, you have to make sure you're putting the right stuff in your body, but because you can't really out supplement a diet that your body doesn't tolerate. So you have to kind of put things together in combination. So it doesn't really mess it up, but you do have to watch it. And if you have blood pressure medicine, as your body gets healthier, a cholesterol medicine, and it doesn't need it, you have to wean it down, because otherwise the dose may be too high as your body gets healthier, as the arteries get less stiff. Okay.
Okay. There's a question saying, are all the ingredients plant-based?
Yes, the ingredients are plant-based. Minerals, by definition, are not organic. So the organic components are plant-based. The minerals, I'm not sure where they get them from specifically, to be honest, because minerals, in my opinion, are inorganic. And so whether they get them from a plant or not, I'm not sure how much it really matters. Just matters that they're purified and in the right quantities. But the products the ingredients that matter are plant-based, and that's what their claim to fame.
Great, that's a good answer. I'm going to borrow that. Okay, so there's a business question. What is the most effective way to have an open conversation to doctor prospects?
That is a great question. And when you figure it out, you come back and talk to me.
Yeah, how did Terry and David talk to you? What hit you?
Well, I was already basically doing this, working on this. I grew up, and there are doctors out there that do practice this. So looking for doctors that practice, alternative medicine, functional medicine, integrative health, complementary medicine. You got to find the right doctor. And as like our partner and great friend Cindy DeMay does, and she does things with the aesthetics industry, basically converting them by giving them a better product and a better business model. So basically finding those doctors and sharing with them information that may help support them in their business, and superior products that's going to help their patients. That would be the angle I take. But the story is that Dave and I were on a call. We were talking about, I was talking about, COVID vaccines to a group of, military officers and business people, and, other kind of medical, individuals. And I was explaining to them that the vaccines were under development, and that there was no single vaccine. There were actually multiple. So people were arguing which vaccine to take. And basically I was explaining that, hey, there's not one, there's actually three, and this is how each of them work. But the truth of the matter is, people are dying right now. They're getting sick right now, looking into the future while basically the house is on fire and people are getting sick. There are other things that you can do, and the best offense is a good defense, and the best defense is a healthy immune system. There's ways to optimize your immune health, and we need to be concentrating on things that we can do. Nutrition still works. That's the way God designed us, and that's what we need to focus on, because this is something we can control for right now. And so here are some basic things you need to do, just some general recommendations. And, as a bariatric surgeon and, critical care specialist, we changed the name of the American Society of Bariatric Surgery to the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, because we understand and embrace the idea that it's not just calories stored up, it's really a metabolic derangement that's happening that's causing the metabolic syndrome and the things that we call disease, a morbidity associated with weight gain. But as you know, I was explaining this, I told him that, in bariatric surgery, we don't just restrict calories and make them eat less and exercise. One of the keys to the success of successful bariatric surgery patients and practices is actually nutritional restoration. And that's the key, whether you gain weight or not. So, you know, I do believe in nutrition. I do know I do treat people. I'm a surgeon. I will operate and do that kind of stuff. But, there's a part that individuals can play, that patients can play, that, we need to support to help get through this pandemic. And so that's what we did. And so as I was on talking about this and intelligently, politically correctly explaining, instead of creating kind of these kind of, arguments and contentious situations, Dave was on like, wow, this is the first time I've seen anybody talk on this without creating a whole bunch of kind of controversy and kind of back and forth disagreement. And he was like, hey, I've been trying to tell him this. I've been working with nutraceuticals and wellness for 20 years. And so he started telling me about his experience. And I was like, okay, you've been studying this for 20 years. I've been studying this. I'm a fellowship trained bariatric surgeon and critical care specialist, trained at Johns Hopkins. And I went to medical school and general surgery training to learn intervention so I could learn prevention. So I'm sitting up thinking like, he's been doing this for 20 years. I've been studying this. I've used other companies like Catalina Sciences, Bariatric Advantage. That's what the bariatric surgeons use. So I'm like, I wonder what this guy's learned. If he's been doing this for 20 years, I bet you know something that I don't. So I asked him, I said, can you reach out to me? And after the call, I'd like to talk to you. Just, I had never met him through a mutual friend, Stanley. And so basically we got on a call afterwards and he introduced me to what Dr. Chang and what the guys had been doing at Pharmanex and under New Skin. And so, I was fascinated by it and, started studying it and kind of just said, hey, you know what, let me embrace this and learn as much as I can. And so the rest is history. That's how I got here, Pat.
Wow. Wow, good story. And continuation with Jack's question is, what gets a doctor to buy in our life pack / youth? What should we provide or say?
Well, here's the thing, and this is where it gets to be kind of very tough because you gotta look at it where you talk about the doctor's personal health, or you talking about a doctor that's selling it to his patients. If you talk about the doctor's personal health, you have to use the same thing that you use and opening up the conversation and talking to him about um, you know what's basically talk about family, the form method, talking about how his work, talking about what is he doing for recreation and money. Sometimes what I'll do is talk to them and ask them how are they doing with their personal health. We spend so much time taking care of everybody else. How are you doing, Dr. XYZ? And tell you. And usually what I do to normalize it, whatever they say, what, I used to feel the same way too, until I was introduced to whatever I'm trying to introduce them to. Have you ever heard of anything about Life Pack and Life Pack Nano or whatever it is? Or sometimes I'll ask them, what do you take, for your own, health and well-being? And they'll take, well, I take this, how long you would take this? What do you know about it? Are there any studies? Just you start getting them into the area where you can be strong and make a good presentation and representation. And then basically, I ask them a lot of times, are you interested in whatever it is, but are you interested in, if say, for instance, there was a vitamin that would actually help you to, be healthier, that had, more of the things that's missing. Because a lot of things, like I tell people, hey, these things they don't contain all the nutritional elements or cofactors that you need. So our body, you know, although we think we're getting older, is actually being nutritionally depleted. If you think about, in particular with doctors, during the first year of medical school, we learned about these things. We're just taught to forget. So you're taking them back to the beginning and knowing how they know how the body works. So if you talk about it and you have an intelligent conversation, they know what you're talking about because we're all trained in it, but we're then trying to take care of sickness and disease and focus on that rather than restoring health, because in medicine, that's not what we get paid for. We get paid for treating sickness. So if you're talking to the doctor that's already in alternative medicine or integrative health or complementary medicine or functional nutrition, which some of them are, what you're talking about is the superiority of the products to whatever they have. So what I would recommend is figure out what they're using, what they're recommending, and then go study that so you can do a comparative analysis. And so when you're following up that next time, yeah, you're using these products. Well, I did an analysis, and this is where this one falls short. This is where Dano, you know, if you could actually deliver a more superior product at a better profit margin, is this something you're interested in? Because they're already delivering nutraceuticals, they're already selling them. It just now becomes about a business decision, and that's what Cindy does with the spas and the aesthetic realm. So I would actually probably a good person to talk to is Cindy DeMay. You know, she's good at this stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to ask her. She'd like to come and give a talk too. Okay, wow. So much information. Amazing. So there's Jaya who's asking, can LifePak Nano be taken with letrozole and leflunomide?
Letrozole and leflunomide.
Oh, okay.
Well, the body works on nutrition, and the nutrients, the basic nutrients of the body don't truly interfere with anything. What they do is restore. Most of these medicines are being used to treat the symptom and manipulate the receptors to create a phenomenon, but they don't get at the root cause, which is inflammation, oxidative stress, and nutritional deficiency. So restoring the body's nutrition status helps it normalize, and it may decrease the need for those kind of medications, which isn't truly an interference. It's just your body is getting healthier. So anytime you're on medication and you're getting healthier versus staying in a sick state, then you have to be watching the parameter that that particular medication is affecting, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's blood sugar, you know, whatever it may be. But in general, yeah, no, LifePak Nano does not cross-react with, you know, that kind of medication. And so that's probably the best answer I could give.
Thank you. There is a SC Tan ask, Dr. Danner, for LifePak Nano, may I know what is the difference between the white and yellow capsule? When we do the iodine test, drip iodine in water and pour the content in the capsule into the iodine water to clear the water, we get better result with the yellow capsule compared to the white capsule. I do not know if Dr. Danner ever saw those tests. You know, if you guys have a video on it, maybe I can send it to Dr. Danner, let him look at it, and then see if he has anything to say. Anybody knows about the iodine test with this?
Yeah. Well, I'll answer it in general because, you know, I don't know the exact content of each, but it's on the back of the box, you know, and you can go and kind of look at it in general. But there are different, when you think about like micronutrients, there are B vitamins, there are water soluble vitamins, there are fat soluble vitamins, vitamin D. I call it ADEC vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin K. There are like actually nutrients. There are actually trace minerals, like we talked about, the vanadium, the chromium, the molybdenum, the boron, and etc. And then you have the others have like the polyphenols, the bioflavonoids, the beta carotenes. And then there's another class of agents even called anthocyanidins. And so then there are other things like resveratrol and nano-CoQ10 and quercetin. all these things are contained within these packs. So these are separated by classes of micronutrients. And so which one's in which one of the capsules, yeah, I don't know because it's not something that, really study. I could go look up and probably figure out by reading the side of the box. But in general, the ones that are probably like more hydrophilic, like the B vitamins and trace minerals, will dissolve versus the fat soluble things tend to not dissolve in waters. Iodine is an element, so we call that a solution. And so the
Yellow
uh,
one,
yeah,
carotenoids.
the other was probably carotenoids. So the carotenoids are electron acceptors. And so some of those may not absorb as much as the B vitamins and the minerals. But that's probably best person to probably ask would be somebody like a Dr. Chang, who's a pharmacologist, a world leading pharmacologist. That would be something that would be discussed in their realm because they're the ones who formulated it. And so, that would be a question we'd pass on to him.
Okay, thank you. That's it. That I know in Asia they do lots of these tests. So I'll have to introduce Dr. Dana you into it. I have some answer, but I don't really remember the specific one. Well, one of the last question is Stella from Vancouver, and she wants to know, how did you get approached? What was your reaction in the beginning?
Well, like I said, I was already on a call talking about being proactive, doing something to protect yourself, building your immune health through vitamins, through vitamin D, through, things like turmeric, through taking zinc, because there was no real treatment for COVID at the time. And so, hey, get as healthy as you can, as quickly as you can before you're exposed to this. And that basically we're arguing about the wrong thing because this future vaccine doesn't exist. You got a house on fire, you got a problem now. And that, explaining to them that, I actually, if you go pull up Danner and vitamin D deficiency and critical illness, I'm a professor of surgery. I call that Marguerite my side hustle. I'm a surgeon and professor of surgery and a scientist, a published researcher. And so our claim to fame was actually studying vitamin D deficiency in the setting of critical.
What happened? We lost you, Dr. Dana.
Oh, did you? Let's see here.
You were just saying you were the surgery to stabilize the vitamin D, and then we couldn't hear you. But anyway, but now you're back. No, we
No,
lost you
the
again.
mic is going.
You're back. Yeah, you're back. I think. No, we lost you again. I can't believe it. Rosalind, what happened? Hold it, Dr. D. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. I think maybe his connection, it's unmuted, so I've
Yeah,
not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe his connection.
okay. Yeah.
Is
Dr.
it back
D,
now?
now you're back.
I pulled it out, just plugged it back in, then just.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Okay.
all right, good. So all right. So
So
can you hear
maybe
me now?
last question. Last
You're
question.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
last question. Some people that start taking it experience waking up late. Is it because the vitamins make their body recover?
Yes, that is a great question. And that's what I tell people that, hey, once you start doing this, it's going to be a weird phenomenon. When you start restoring the nutrition, the body can heal itself. And, there's not anything in our little black bag that can heal 95 to 99% of the stuff you present with. We just temporize it with medication and cut it out with operations. But nutritional restoration allow for the body to have like the healing and the restoration itself. And so when does healing and restoration occur is actually when you sleep. So actually you end up feeling very tired for a little while as your body is going through this recovery and you just clamor sleep and your body is kind of going through this kind of resetting process. So it's a very interesting phenomenon, but some people are really, really tired for a while till they get to a point where their body's really caught up and then they feel great and then you can go and work all day and be very, very empowered. So yeah, but it isn't a bad thing. It's just the body is cleansing itself. It's so the purification by not putting the wrong stuff in, those extra metabolites, the body's clearing it out, and now those cells can start to rebuild in a healthy fashion. But cellular turnover occurs every 30 to 45 days for some cells, and every 60 to 90 days for slower growing cells like neurons and cartilage cells. So they replenish themselves a little bit slower.
Wow. Wow. Okay, last question is, will LifePak Nano interfere with seizure medication?
It will not interfere with, basically, I haven't found it really interfere with any medication. As you get healthier, the body has lower need for medication. Medications for sick people. LifePak Nano helps to restore the nutrition foundation and allows for the body to, get healthy, to, restore itself. So these phenomenon, tend to be, I'll put it like this, less frequent or less severe, the healthier the body gets. So, a lot of people, you have to really watch it if you're following, like say on Tegretol, you have to follow Tegretol levels and Dilantin and follow the Dilantin levels. You can't make a representation that LifePak or Age Lock Youth is going to fix every situation, or that you actually are using it to treat any disease. Is scoffed upon by the Food and Drug Administration, so we can't make those kind of representations in the first place. But just understand this, that your health is your responsibility. What you do outside the doctor's office between doctor visits is really what determines your health and wellness. The doctor's office is to treat your sickness and to monitor you for other risk factors for getting sick, but not necessarily in Western medicine, even though in Europe, they rate the representation, the socialistic medicine system is the reason that people are healthy. The truth of the matter is, as opposed to the American, particularly the American lifestyle, we eat a lot more processed things and we do a lot more things that may be detrimental and put our health at risk, and more processed foods, more canned foods, than more farm to table like other countries like Asia and Europe. So although we do those things, the food supply in most countries is still compromised. So LifePak kind of helps you to kind of complete that nutrition without having to figure out every little thing that you may not have gotten in the course of your normal diet. And so the medications are treating the symptoms, they're for temporization, but you have a responsibility to help kind of change your overall kind of physiologic, optimization of physiologic makeup. And that's what this does, is help to complement people on this kind of wellness journey like Pat and Marguerite.
Thank you. Well, there's last. This is it. No more questions.
You said that 3 times, Marguerite. I've counted.
I know.
I've counted the third last. You're
Victoria wants to
tricky.
know, can you take everything together? LifePak, Youth, R Square. I take it all together. So I guess they wanted to know a doctor's point of view. If you're taking LifePak, HLOC Youth, R Square, is it fine to take everything together?
I take it all together. It depends on the individual and the ability to tolerate. Some people can't swallow pills, but from just a pure general principle, is it going to hurt anything? The answer is no. Do I do it? I take it all together because I'm trying to get out the door to work and I don't have time to, sit around and wait for another 30 minutes to do anything. If it does upset your stomach, it's probably better to do it on by eating food first. So usually I eat breakfast, then I'll take my supplements and then head on out the door. And at nighttime, I'll go ahead and take them. But it totally is individualized. There's no real right answer. It's whatever works for you. But the key is getting on a healthy routine that you can follow and repeat over time. The formula for success is consistency over time. There are no failures. There are only behaviors. Rome wasn't built or destroyed in a day. So missing a day, getting off schedule, just get back on schedule and, just try to be as consistent as you can.
Wow. Wow, today was such a loads of information, was so good. Everybody's putting little hand and love you. We love you. We need to invite you to come back sometime, okay? Again, and
Thank you.
oh my God, I think everybody's already asking, can they have the recording? So it'll be recording will be done when when Pat is ready. Pat has escaped to the other room because another Zoom, and so we will probably upload it in a day or two. Thank you. If everybody wants to say something, turn your
Margaret, we can share, stop the share and then we can take a group photo, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's
okay.
her Dana's first time with us.
Stop recording first.
And then we do a record, we do
Stop